We got to air it out. Let's air it out. So we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So
how you say that? Air it out? Air it out?
Air it out.
What's going on, guys? It's the Air It Out Pro Football Podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and we are back in action, ready to talk some NFL football. Apologize for that. I've been doing that every week now, so you guys got to get used to it, man. Let's introduce the guys because they are mad at me already. Let's get Avery Collins right here. How you doing, Avery, man?
I said, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain. We're not too far from the season, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We in live now, baby.
I got my man Darius right down here. We're gonna have to talk, Darius. We're gonna have to talk. How you feeling, man?
Man, you see how I'm coming today. You see how I'm coming. I had to throw the shirt on. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. But like Avery said, training camp is around the corner. After training camp comes preseason. After preseason comes what? The season opener. So I'm excited about some football.
I agree with that. Yes, it's close. It's definitely close. My man Darren already was shaking his head. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good until I see the Patriots jersey today. Patriots shirt today. So it ruins my day every time I see them, but it is what it is.
Don't hate, man. Don't hate, man.
And this is the best part. Right now is the best time for any football. Everyone has a clean slate, whether you're in high school, whether you're in college, or in the pros. It's all about how you grind now. Can't wait to see it, man.
That record book says 0-0 right now, and everybody's all on the same level right now.
You're undefeated, bro.
Everybody's undefeated. Everybody is definitely undefeated until the season starts. And we're super excited about it, man.
Don't everybody. Y'all got no wins. We got no losses.
I don't know where that came from. Okay. All right. All right. Every going philosophy on us, man. All right. That threw me off. But speaking of the Patriots, we're gonna get into our first topic today. Mr. N'Keal Harry making some news this week. Requested a trade from New England Patriots. N'Keal Harry was a first-round pick in 2019, I believe.
19, yep.
2019, 32nd overall wide receiver from Arizona State. Really good in college. Have not done much so far in the NFL. I believe in 2022 he averaged. He was in 14 games, 33 receptions, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So not much production in his first 2 years. Requesting a trade from the Patriots. I want to know how you guys feel about this. First and foremost, I want to talk to you, Darius, and see how you feel about this. Before we get to you, though, sir, you got a comment. So before we get to Chris's comment, as you guys already know, you can come on our live chat. So if you're on here live, definitely come in here. You can chat it up with us and ask questions. Say whatever you want. We will respond to them live time. So if you are on here, please comment. We love to have the comments on here. And it's a Christopher Thomas. I apologize for your name. It's one of our guys here at Inside the Hatches. He says Lions make the most sense for N'Keal Harry. We will definitely talk about that, and I'll let Mr. New England himself speak on it first. How do you feel about it? And if he does get traded, what would be a good team for him?
I think it's time for a fresh start for both teams. For both parties, right? And N'Keal Harry, he needs a new scenery. And the Patriots, you look at what they did this offseason with getting guys like Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, right? Drafting a wide receiver in the 7th round. You got Jacoby Myers, who surpassed him, an undrafted free agent who surpassed N'Keal Harry, right? Now, so they have a very crowded, in my opinion, wide receiver room, and then you add in the 2 tight ends formations that they're going to run. Where does N'Keal Harry really fit in? His first year he was injured, right? So, okay, you give him that. His second year, you come in with Tom Brady. He couldn't really build that chemistry. He couldn't create separation. And then the following year, he's with Cam Newton. So he's dealt with 2 quarterback changes, and he's been banged up most of his tenure with the New England Patriots. And the biggest thing was he cannot create separation. Now, before the show, I talked to Avery. I said, Avery watched those highlights, and I'm like, don't really let those highlights fool you, because when I saw they drafted him, I'm like, yo, we got a big body, red zone threat wide receiver, something that Tom Brady hasn't really had in a long time. So you give him that, and I was very high on N'Keal Harry. But you got to look at that draft and look at all the receivers that was drafted after him and before him. Like Deebo Samuel, he was available. We could have got a chance to get A.J. Brown. These are guys who you look at their production in the pros, and you're like, okay, what was Belichick thinking? So I think it's a fresh start for him. Chris said it perfect. Of the Lions, I think is a great team. His trade value isn't high, right? He's not somebody who's you're gonna spend a second or a third round pick. I can definitely see like a fifth or a sixth round pick. A team that I thought was going to be very interested in him was the Arizona Cardinals before they signed AJ Green, just because he played in Arizona. You pair him up with a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, who can kind of mentor him. I possibly still think he can get traded there, but it might be like a player trade if Belichick can somehow get something out of that, maybe like a Christian Kirk type of player trade and maybe like a late round pick. But I definitely think it's time for both parties to really explore options, and I think it's a trade, especially because we saw in the beginning of the offseason there was rumors that N'Keal Harry was on his way out just because of his production when he did play.
All right, I want to hear your take on this, Darren.
All right, so let's start off with the simple fact of N'Keal Harry was a great college wide receiver. He produced extremely well his 2 good years at Arizona. His main thing was he was a great 50-50 ball guy and a guy that can just out-muscle and win the contested catch. But when you look at his highlights even back in college, he was never the fastest of guys. He won more off of kind of technique and physicality. Comes to the NFL, you got to do something, man. I know you were hurt, but I'm sorry. N'Keal Harry was just not that great of a receiver, especially for a number 1 pick for the New England Patriots after all these years of picking guys and not picking a wild. I think you could have won a whole different route. So I'm really not surprised at what he has produced. He came hurt once he got in. You can give him a pass for that. But the fact that in the last 2 years, you have 2 very accomplished guys. One in Tom Brady, who most people consider the GOAT, and Cam Newton, somebody who has been accomplished in his own right, former MVP. He has not been able to create or get and be that guy for either person. If you cannot do that for 2 of the best players in the league, where can you really do that? Yes, he definitely does need a fresh start, but his trade value is either he's going to be a 7-round pick trade, or I see him get released before he even makes the trade. And somebody's going to take a shot. That shot will be either with the Lions or just hear me out on this. The Green Bay Packers. The Packers, for me.
I'm sorry.
And listen, the Lions are good. We all know terrible wide receiver room right now. But the Packers, they could possibly use him in certain situations with a great quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. Or if he's there, or try to see what he can do opposite a guy like Devontae Adams, who can school him on getting separation, school him on getting open, because that's the main thing he's missing right now. If he can learn that, N'Keal Harry might have a shot in the league.
All right, real quick on the Green Bay Packers take. I think the Green Bay Packers got all like taller receivers anyway. I think that's why I thought when they got Amari Rodgers was like a great pick, because they got more of a smaller slot route running kind of guy. They don't have a lot of those kind of guys. They got more bigger, taller, guys at receiver. So that's why the N'Keal Harry to Green Bay was kind of to me. That's the only reason right there. Avery, let me hear your take. What do you think about this?
All right. So, I don't disagree with anything anybody said. I'll just give a different spin. I don't necessarily think he needs a change of scenery. If it happens, cool. I think it would be beneficial for both sides, but I don't think it's like vital, if that makes sense. For some people, like Carson Wentz, he needed to get out of Philly. He needed to get out of Philly. He needed to change the scenery. AJ Green needed to get out of Cincy. A lot of these, like, you can see that, right? I don't think it's the same thing with Harry. I think he was underutilized and not utilized correctly the last 2 seasons. A lot of people, to Darren's point, I'll take him. Listen, I'll take him on the Falcons. I love big body receivers. He's not going to be the number one. Obviously, that's going to be Calvin. So we don't have to worry about.
Hey, there's a name, Frank Darby.
Listen, all I'm saying is,
good.
All I'm saying is, to Darren's point, he was never considered the fastest. He was a 50-50 ball and a big body receiver. He's a decent route runner. I won't say excellent. He's a decent route runner for his size. And so I think the issue is, name one receiver that New England has ever had that's been that type of player. They don't fit in that type of offense. Big body receivers who can't create separation. It's always the slot guys, somebody swift, and then somebody who can take the top off. That's literally how their receiving core is built. They don't really typically have a number one top tier receiver in the league. The last person that they had, you can consider that, is Randy Moss. And then you bring in, like you said, with the whole Tom Brady comparison, that team that year was just not right. And then with the whole Cam Newton situation, he also got COVID, and it was their first season. So it was just not really good. So I don't necessarily know if it's a new fit, but if there's a new fit, I think it's one of 3 teams. I agree with Chris that Detroit could definitely use him. I think that, and I'll add in the Falcons. I'll gladly take them. But number 2, I would say the Las Vegas. This is true. Well, he can draft wide receivers, just not prime time wide receivers, because the offense.
No.
Again, think about it. When has he had the opportunity to draft primetime receivers? Because he's typically at the bottom of the draft. He's not at the top.
Still catch a primetime receiver at the bottom of the draft.
I'm not saying that you can't.
A second or third round.
I'm not saying that you can't.
A hidden gem. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying that you can't. The point is, you don't need that for the type of offense that they had, right? Tom Brady made Deion Branch look like a Hall of Famer. Come on now. So, with that being said,
it's not wrong. You're not wrong.
I don't know about Hall of Famer, but he was good.
He made him look like.
He made him look like a Hall of Famer.
He made him look like. Watch them highlights.
Now, number 2 team, the Las Vegas Raiders. We all know that Gruden loves those big body receivers, right?
True.
And he doesn't have to come in and be the number 1. He doesn't have to come in and do anything as far as taking the top off or anything like that. All you have to do is run routes, which he can do, and catch the football. He's a possession type receiver. He's got probably the best hands of his draft class. I would say, if not one, probably top 3 as far as hands in his draft class. And then the last team I think he could go to, and if hear me out, Kansas City, right? They lose Sammy Watkins. They lose that big body receiver. That guy. Now he's not as fast as Sammy Watkins, obviously, but he's strong. He's a big body. He's somebody that can post you up. He can block. He can do all those things. And because you still don't know what you're going to get out of him, teams are going to, they got to see what's going to happen. He could potentially eat because teams are going to double Tyreek Hill or double Travis Kelce, and different things like that. So those are my 3 teams I can see him getting traded to. But I don't necessarily think that he needs to.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, before we keep continuing, like I said earlier, we got some new viewers in here. So all you new viewers, first and foremost, thanks for being in here. We do appreciate each person watching. If you want to comment in here, please, you can put in the comment in here. You can get live reactions to your comments. So post your comments all up in there, put it in there. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe as well. So this is for one of our commenters, Mr. Chris Thomas. I'm going to propose a trade to N'Keal Harry to the New England Patriots. Hey, Mr. Darius, you are the GM right here. Would you like to do a player swap, N'Keal Harry for JJ Arcega-Whiteside, please? Give me
a draft pick, and we'll potentially give me a 6th-round draft pick in next year's draft.
2023 6th-round pick.
Nah, we need 20. We need 22. We need 22. If not, we hanging up the phone.
Facebook users, I'm not sure who you are, but thank you. Appreciate you being in here. If you can't picture, Chris says, "Ew, no." Oh man,
You got some young linebackers over there that you don't want. You can always use the depth.
We got plenty of 5th round, 6th round undrafted linebackers you can have,
Or a corner that you feel like he isn't going to fit in Philly, but may fit in our system.
I don't know. I got to think about that one. But
all right, when you think about that, give us a call back. You got our number.
You can take JJ. You can take JJ. Come on, you can take JJ.
We need secondary. We need depth at that position.
You can take the umbrella man and his mom. All right, let's get to our next topic, guys. We're gonna talk about the top 3 quarterbacks that gonna go into the season. So this don't mean top 3 quarterbacks of all time. This don't mean top 3 quarterbacks in general. This is just for the 2021 season. Who is gonna be the top 3 quarterbacks in your opinion? We'll start with Avery on this one. 3 quarterbacks, the best 3 that's gonna be in this season. I'm gonna say it again. This season. Go.
All right, I'm gonna start with number 3. Now, okay, are we basing this on statistics, gameplay, the full thing, like the whole shebang?
In general.
Okay.
Who's gonna be in those MVP races?
There we go. Okay, all right. So.
Oh my God, Chris!
Whoa!
Oh my
God, no! Oh no!
Oh my God, Chris!
No!
Stop disrespecting Ben Simmons like
That's
that.
Free Ben Simmons. From the fans of Philly. You guys are toxic.
That was good
right now. But go ahead, Avery. I'm sorry.
That was good, Chris. I gotta give you props for that. That was funny. Okay, so excuse me. As far as the top of the QBs, I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna start with number 3. And this one was, I think number 3 is tough. The toughest for me because it's like between a couple people. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say, just from a statistic standpoint, from an impact standpoint, and from the potential team success, number 3, Matthew Stafford. I really think he's going to have a really good year this year. Like, I don't think people really understand. And like I said, the reason it was a struggle between number 3 is because it was between him, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, and Ryan Tannehill now that he has Julio Jones. So it's between those 4 for me, but I think I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford because I've seen him do more with less outside of, obviously Tom Brady. Tom Brady's one of the, best as far as doing great numbers with, mediocre receivers. Number 2, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers if he decides to play. If Aaron Rodgers decides to play, then I think he's going to, again, do what Aaron Rodgers does. He was phenomenal last year. You saw that he won the MVP last year. I think he's going to just continue the trend, right? He's got a running game. His offensive line is getting better. He's got some weapons on the outside. Obviously, he would like more, but Devontae Adams is finally starting to come into his own. The defense is playing better. I think Aaron Rodgers is obviously going to be playing really well. And then number 1, I don't think there's any argument here. Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to do what Patrick Mahomes does. He's just really good, right? I still think, like I said, that Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen in NFL history, and that includes Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes is very, very close to that, and just from an all-around game, he's so good. He's just so good. So, I'm gonna have to give it to Patrick Mahomes.
All right, Darius, what do you think? Hold on. You can't say Tom. You can't say Cam Newton.
I'm not. Cam Newton is like number in the 20s. He's down there. But I like his list. I just don't agree with number 3. So I was stuck between a couple of people with number 3, right? When we say coming into this season, the reason I think of overall, right? And this player right here, you watch him, his first half of the season is always magical, right? Like he's he's putting up numbers, but then you watch the later half of the season, you see a completely different person. Avery, you shook your head. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And if he can do this the whole entire season, he would be number 3 in my opinion, but it's Russell Wilson. He's on the outside looking in just because of the simple fact is when you watch him later in the season, this is not the same quarterback we see throwing 350 yards for 3 touchdowns, game-winning drive on a Sunday Night Football game. You know, he's going to get you a win, but his numbers aren't going to be that good when it really matters in November, December, and those months that it really matters. Like you said, Ryan Tannehill, he's another honorable mention. Lamar Jackson has a chance, but I just think that this guy at number 3, he really proved himself last year, and you gave him a number 1. You saw what he did, and it's Josh Allen, right? Like Josh Allen, he came in, he did what he had to do. You gave him Stephon Diggs, and he just lit everyone up offensively. Like you saw a huge leap going into this season, and it's because he had that number 1 receiver. And I think Lamar Jackson, he's only, again, another outside guy looking in, but you gave him a number 1 receiver. He has Sammy Watkins now. He could potentially be number 2, number 3, or number 1, just depending on how he plays now that he has a number 1 receiver. But I think it's Josh Allen. And then Avery would have said number 2, Aaron Rodgers. Regardless if he plays or not, Aaron Rodgers is just gifted with the football. It doesn't matter if he's on the field or off the field playing golf, beating Tom Brady. He's just a gifted human being, especially when he's in uniform and you give him a guy like Devontae Adams. And then when he doesn't have Devontae Adams, he's still putting up numbers. And the guy won the MVP. So I think he's number 2, and then Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the guy's going to be, I feel like, number 1 for a really, really, really long time. No matter who he's throwing to, he's going to find ways to put up numbers. And I think he's the closest person to break Peyton Manning's all-time record in the season of, I think it's like 5,000 and some change yards. I think has the highest ceiling to break that record just because of his athletic ability, and then the offense that he's surrounded with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Nicole Hardeman. Let them get N'Keal Harry. Now you're looking at a really, really stacked offense that really cannot be stopped. So those are my 3 guys.
All right. Before we get to Darren, Deontay was the Facebook user so thank you for being here. Mr. Rogers, thank you also for being in here in the chat room, chatting it up. We do appreciate you being in here as well. Darren, I want to hear your 3, man.
All right. So
Lamar Jackson.
So
Lamar Jackson.
What's in here? So first off, I'm gonna go from 1 down because we all know and we all are in consensus agreement. Patrick Mahomes is going to be the number 1 quarterback going into next year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's too many weapons. I don't care if he lost 1 or not. He's still just too good. When you have Tyreek Hill and you have Travis Kelce on the same team with a mastermind behind them running the offense and Andy Reid, yeah, there's no doubts about it. He's number 1. Now, number 2 and number 3 for me are going to be different than you guys, and I will explain why. Because going into the season, there's still too many question marks about Aaron Rodgers. So I left him off of this list only because there's too many question marks of if he's going to play or where he will play. And I did that as well for Deshaun Watson, someone that I feel as though no matter what team he goes to, he's going to be a problem, and he's going to be a dangerous threat to be a top 3 quarterback. But for me, number 2, Josh Allen. Josh Allen has the weapons. If he can get that trade to go, or the Bills can get that trade to go, Ertz to the Bills, then you're giving Josh Allen, Zach Ertz, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, who was coming into his own, and Emmanuel Sanders. That is a loaded offense for him after he already had over 40 touchdowns last year and over 4,000 yards passing. That's ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. And he's one of the main competition right now for Patrick Mahomes. He's one of the main competitors. Now, for number 3, this one for me was a tie, and it's only the tie because I can truly see all 3 of these guys having a great season, but only one of them will be able to make it out of their division, period. Because the other 2 guys that I have here are either going to stop the guy or the other 2 will have to beat him out. You have, as he said, Russell Wilson. You have to mention him in there. Matthew Stafford and Lamar Jackson. Those will be my 3. Lamar, because he has to get over the hump and make it work, especially with his running ability. But if he can't make it past Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, he's going to have to say 3. Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford are now in the same division. There's no way that both of them will truly make it a long distance without having to go against each other. I'm telling you, those three guys are the ones that's almost at the cusp, almost right there, certified top three, but they all have their thing with them that's stopping it from being there. So I have to give it all three of them that number 3 spot.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna give you my 3. Actually, I have a 4th because these two guys are gonna be neck and neck for this spot. So I'm gonna say 3A, 3B. You can switch them up however you want. Number 3 obviously is Josh Allen for me. I think that he's gonna take that next level. But another guy that I feel like is gonna be neck and neck with him, honestly, is Justin Herbert. I mean, bro, he got a new line. He looked very good. He's a young guy. He got those weapons on the outside, man. I've been saying this all year, man. Like, Josh Allen's going to be good. Jerome's gonna say Hurts. No, I'm not gonna say Hurts. Yo, if you guys know, I'm not the biggest Hurts fan. I support the guy. I hope he does well, but I wasn't too high on him at that Senior Bowl. We talked about this numerous times, but that's a whole nother story. Number 2. Number 2, I'm gonna say, y'all are gonna be mad at me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it's Patrick Mahomes. The reason why I have him at 2 is because my number 1 guy, Patrick Mahomes, is gonna be up there. He's almost number 1. He's gonna be up. But my number 1 guy is, I have him on here because simple fact that this man plays so well under pressure. When there's always scrutiny, he plays even better. When there's always something going on, the Mr. Relax himself, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, man. Every time there's something going on, last year he had issues. The year when he talked about, hey, guys, relax. We're good. We're still good. He was crazy. He had an MVP season last year. Every time it seems like where everybody kind of down on him or something's going on with the organization or he's pissed off about something, this man plays to the highest level. So I have to put Aaron Rodgers number 1 for myself. I just think that he's going to be better, even better this year. And he got some better weapon. I think Amari Rodgers is going to make a big difference in that slot for them. Go ahead, Avery.
Just a real quick, another honorable mention. Don't sleep on him. I think Dak. I think Dak is going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Just this year. He's got weapons. I think that Dak is going to have a pretty solid year this year. So don't sleep on him.
The only thing about Dak for me is I think he's just going to start slower. That's the only thing. Because he does still rely on his legs. And I have broken leg before, and even when I came back and I felt like I was 100%, I still wasn't 100%. Like, my speed wasn't all the way there. So that's the only reason. Derek, do you have something to say?
I want to say this, and I forgot to add this because I forgot the offseason that they had. When I put Patrick Mahomes at number 1, this man now has an offensive line that's going to protect him. So just imagine Patrick Mahomes being able to sit back in that pocket, survey the field. Like, just think about that, because now he has some protection. You saw what happened when he didn't have any protection. Now he has some actual protection, and he has weapons. That's all I'm saying, man. The man, he 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. That's my prediction for Mahomes this year.
Skill 60, whatever. Skill 60.
Cam Newton, 4,000 yards.
Mr. Rogers, number top 3. Tebow.
And Tebow we trust.
Let's go.
Tebow we trust.
Chris said, Mahomes, Antonio.
Listen, people.
It's not
that
fair.
is probably the worst and best decision we ever made. It is. It's straight up.
We'll see later on the season.
We were going to lose him no matter what. So I'd rather give him up for something good. Unfortunately, the only team that he really wanted to go to was Mahomes. And you got to think about it like this. Now Mahomes has 3 new Pro Bowl blockers for him.
Yep.
Orlando Brown, Joe Tooney, and then you have a mix of Kyle Long, a returning their Duvernay Tardif. It's ridiculous what they had on that offensive line. That he should be able to sit back, relax, and not worry about it.
Exactly. He don't have to scramble. He's just gonna be able to sit back and let that thing fly. That's what he's gonna do.
He could take a 7-step drop and still be fine for
Just
another
draft Patrick Mahomes with your first pick. That's all I'm saying in your fantasy draft. That's what you need to do. Yeah, he gonna have.
And we got my man Deontay. He says, y'all sleeping on Carson Wentz.
He has potential to be a top 10. Top 10.
I think Carson
He'll have that pressure on his back now. He definitely
He has an offensive line. Now he has an offensive line. That's the biggest thing. The offensive line.
I think he's going to have a good year, but top 3, I don't know top 3. I think I can definitely see top 10, maybe even top 5, but I don't think he'll slide to the top 3 just yet.
I got him at like 7 or 8 for this year. 7 or 8 this year. Good season. Team goes somewhere in the playoffs, but it won't just be on wins.
Odell and Baker don't have chemistry, so that's one. They're not in.
Chris is trolling on you.
Just cut it out with Baker. Cut it out with Baker.
If you want to talk about the Browns, the only thing you should be talking about is that D-line that they have, because that D-line is going to be the scariest thing that they have all season long. That and their rushing attack. Period.
I know y'all better stop disrespecting Odell. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no, it's not Odell. It's the chemistry between Odell and Baker. It's not there.
You don't need chemistry when you're Odell. See, this is what people forget. People talk about how Odell had a down year. He still had almost 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. That was like his worst year ever since what are we talking about? That's a year that N'Keal Harry would love to have. He would die to have that type of
he would. He literally would.
Stop it. That's not chemistry. 7 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards. That's not chemistry. Stop playing with me. Next topic.
No, we're not saying, if anything, we're not saying it's Odell. We're saying it's Baker. We trust Odell, but do we really
Odell's
trust
going to get open and he's going to get his yards. That's one thing.
That's what we will be talking about.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Because we already know what Odell can do. He does that on every team he goes to.
Hey, Avery, I'm going to correct you. 2020, last year, he only had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about
the year before that, his first year.
The year before that, first year.
Last year, okay, 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Look, even 4.
Hey,
listen, Mary has for a good season.
I'm just showing you what this says. I'm just saying what that
says. Still had 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns, which tells me it's not a chemistry issue.
I'm not saying it this year. I won't say it. I'm not going to say it. I promise you I'm not going to say it.
Baker in the system he's comfortable in, and he had the best season of his career. I definitely agree with that. But we'll definitely see, man. We'll definitely see. Let's get to the next and last topic here, guys. So we're going to talk about fan base. What fan base deserves a Super Bowl the most for 2021? When I pick on you, you cannot say your own team, obviously. You can't say your own team. So we're gonna go first. Your own team. I know Avery's like, we need it first. We don't have a Super Bowl. Yeah, actually, Avery, I'm sorry. You're the only one in here without a Super Bowl. I'm so sorry, but you still can't say your own team. Darren, what team do you think deserves a Super Bowl first?
All right, so I can't believe I'm about to say this actually, but I'm gonna give one shout out to the Falcons who should have had one already.
Multiple.
Because my man Avery can't do it, I'm gonna shout him out for him. Now, my team that I really believe deserves one, at least for that fan base, they've toiled away. They've sucked for so long, and now they just look so good, and they're right there. The Browns. I can't believe what I'm saying right now. But you have to understand, the Browns have been basically garbage for the last decade, almost 2. But they finally have a winning system, good head coach, good offensive philosophy, and defense is going to be there this year. Easily a top 10 unit if they all come together. This fan base right here, even in the worst of times, still went to games, still supported the team, still was there, still had their back, was ready every year to listen. We 0-0, we all zeros. Let's go in to win. They really deserve one. Can't believe I'm saying it, but Cleveland Browns people.
Okay. Avery, let's go with you first.
I I think it's a couple. Obviously, my boys.
Darren Wifey said Eagles fans. Everyone hates us, and being relatively the Bills.
I hate. Like I said, got to throw my boys in there. But I'm gonna give like a top three. I would say number three. I'm gonna say, I would honorable mention at first. Honorable mention the Las Vegas Raiders. If they were still in Oakland, I would put them at number one. But they disrespected that fan base by moving to Las Vegas, and I'm still tight about it. I know it's been a couple years, but I don't care. I'm frustrated that they left them people in Oakland out like that. So they're an honorable mention. So number three, it's going to be, I'm gonna go with the New York Jets. Obviously, they're not going to get there, but the New York Jets deserve a Super Bowl. It's been so long. I was going to take them out because I'm like, well, you could just be a Giants fan, right? And y'all had some recent Super Bowls, but the Jets, they need a Super Bowl. It's really bad at this point. It's like, come on, yo. Number two, I'm gonna agree with Darren. The Browns, man. It's just they need it, man. Like they need a Super Bowl. Obviously, they're kind of still hanging on to the Cavaliers championship, and the Cleveland Indians just making it to the World Series and different things like that. So, you got some things going on in the sports world in Cleveland, and Cleveland is starting to look better. But the number one team for me, I'm going to have to agree with Darren's significant other. I'm going to go with the Bills, man. I think the reason is because it's been a while. First of all, 4 straight Super Bowls are not a win. That hurts, man. Like, come on, yo. I
was gonna say, but
that's kind of sick, man. That's kind of sick. That's kind of sick.
My wife is small. She knows what she's talking about.
But I think I'm gonna go with the Bills just because I believe that they're going in the right direction, right? When they had Tyrod Taylor, they finally had gotten to the playoffs. It's like they're building and they're finally going in the right direction. I think the Bills deserve a Super Bowl. But obviously the real answer is the Falcons. But anyway.
All right, and Darren. Oh, Darius, I'm sorry. I said Darren.
Thanks, Avery, for stealing my answer with Buffalo. Even though they're in the AFC East, I agree, man. You lose 4 straight Super Bowls, and now your team is on the rise, and then last year you're this close to making it. That hurts, but I think they deserve it the most. You look at that talent, it's really not much. It's not really – they don't have a basketball team really outside of just, college sports. I mean, I believe they have a hockey team. But they're really lifelong is football, right? And just to bring when they went to the playoffs, their fans were outside the airport cheering them on, right? Like when they won the division, they made it seem like they won the Super Bowl. It's been that long since that team has won that division. You know what I mean? So just imagine if that team won the Super Bowl, like how would it be? Even if they just got there, they would think they would win the Super Bowl. I agree with Cleveland. Look what they've been through, man. This is a team that you look at Cleveland when they had all the quarterbacks and they went 0, I believe it was 0-16 or 1-15. Like this team knows what it feels like to struggle. And now you look at them, another team that's on the rise in a division that really is up for grabs, right? It's going to be between Baltimore and Cleveland, in my opinion. I think Pittsburgh's going to be competitive, but it's just too many question marks on the offensive side for them to really be competitive. But I just think, to me, and those 2 teams, and then the honorable mention, obviously, Avery, your Falcons, man. I think you guys deserve it. Obviously, you can't say it. You watched that horrific comeback from your perspective. You saw the comeback. You saw the choke. Atlanta sports teams are known for choking when it really matters. So I think the Falcons are another team, especially when that year, I think that year should have been the year they won, right? Like Matt Ryan, he was on fire. Julio Jones, he was on fire. That was the year that you finally bring home a championship to the A, and then that's what happens.
What's up, Johnny? He said that the Steelers are going to be last in the division.
It's not wrong. In Joe Burrow, we trust.
Hey, real quick, and I got to go after this, but the other reason that I want the Bills fans is because of the fans, right? Their fan base.
Bills Mafia.
Bills Mafia is not. It's really not. It's not what it sounds like. Where they're terrorizing or anything like that. They actually are a community that literally build up their community. They literally do fundraisers and do amazing things for their community and the people in their community. And so for me, like they're in an organization of their own. Like in a sense. Like the Bills fans are like some of my favorite fans in the world. They deserve a Super Bowl. And with that, I bid you adieu.
All right, Avery, thank you for being on. We'll talk to you later, man.
Honorable mention.
Matt Ryan for president.
Honorable mention Jalen Hurts and the Eagles.
Nope.
Jalen Hurts.
Somebody had to say it. We had a bad offseason. Yeah, such a bad offseason. But I'm gonna say my the Bills are definitely in there. I don't want to be too obvious with it. I think the Bills, for all the reasons you guys said, definitely the Bills. But I want to see three teams, because what it says is which NFL fan base deserves a Super Bowl, not the team, not whatever. And I do agree with the Bills. The Bills Mafia goes hard, they go strong. I'm gonna say my number 3 team is Miami Dolphins. They haven't had one in a while since they couldn't get one with Dan Marino. You know, they deserve one. It's been a while, man. And they got a really good coach. They got a really young, talented team. They got a great defense. I think they deserve one. My next team is obviously the Brownies. You know, they've been a laughingstock the last 20 years. They finally get a better team. They got a great defense now. I think they deserve one. Their fan base has been so loyal for all these years. Like you'll see teams that been bad for years and years and years, and you know the fan base get disloyal, whatever. No, those Brown fans stay with their team no matter what. Even though they might put paper bags over their heads, they still with their Brownies. They still the dog pound. They're my number 2. My number 1 team, and then Chris said it. Chris said it. This organization needs a Super Bowl. I'm not saying they will get one, but their fan base needs one, and it's the Lions, man. Their team is just they've been cursed, man. They can't do nothing. They've been cursed not only with not getting the Super Bowl, but they've been, you got Barry Sanders, who's been on the team, retire early. You have Calvin Johnson that been on the team, retire early. Two Hall of Fame players retire early on this team. You had Matthew Stafford, who looked like a great quarterback that couldn't do nothing in that town. This fan base deserves a Super Bowl. Would they get one? Highly doubt it. This is the NFL. You never know, but highly doubt it. That fan base deserves a Super Bowl. Maybe next year. Not likely, maybe.
Oh God, no!
They deserve one. The Lions fans, I feel for you.
You got 2 years.
Y'all deserve a Super Bowl. Y'all definitely deserve a Super Bowl.
They don't even have to get a Super Bowl win. They just at least gotta make it there.
Yeah.
Make it there.
That's
Win the division.
Oh man, like that's the reason why I have more with the Browns, man. Like I said, you had 2 Hall of Famers retire early because they could not stand playing with that team any longer, man. Those fans must feel terrible. They definitely need that. I agree. Johnny D said dog pound, and he says the Browns has suffered long, lost their team and got it back and rallied. 100% agree with that. 100%.
The Browns won 1-31 in 2 seasons recently.
Yo,
1-31 in 2 seasons, and this is in the last 5 years they did this.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And the Browns are still back, still there. Yes, the Lions deserve it because they've been garbage for years, but the Browns, they went from 1-31 to now having the possibility of winning not only winning
top 5 team in the NFL,
but being a top 5 team and having a real chance at a Super Bowl.
I agree.
That's expectations.
But I just feel so I'm feeling for the Lions fans, man. You had 2 Hall of Famers in your team, and you're just like, oh, they got some talent on that team, and they just retire early. Like it's like, and they got a curse on their team. Like it's kind of obvious they're cursed. Like, come on.
And both players resigned for the same reason because they said we're not going anywhere.
Yeah,
we're not going anywhere. I'm not going to go. I'm just for my stats at this point.
They say
I'm cool.
Tap out.
Like, hey, another guy in. I'm out. I'm not here for it.
Like, let me get that rest, homie. But that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Thank you all, every last person to being here. Thank you, Deontay. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Thank you, Johnny. If I forgot somebody, I do apologize. But thank everybody that's been in here. Thank everybody that's just watching it. Don't comment. It's okay. You don't mind. But if you are on YouTube, please make sure that you like, subscribe on there, and make sure you hit that notification button, because if you do, you will know when we are on live, and you can get your comments on there live. But if you're watching this later on and you can't watch it live, that's okay too. You can put your comment under there. We'll make sure that we comment back on there. Anything that you want to, any questions or anything like that you want to put on there, you can also do that as well. Also, make sure you follow us on all the social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Inside the Hashes, and follow us on all of our podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. We can find all our player interviews, players that we've seen in the NFL or talked to that are in the NFL. You can check this out on there at Inside the Hashes. Just search Inside the Hashes on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We got a last minute comment on her from Johnny Dean. He said that Chiefs game for the Browns is kind of feels like Ernest Byard game. Not sure what he mean by that. Anybody else? No.
The Broncos will not win the division.
As usual, Jerome, great show. What I call. Thank you, Johnny Dean, as always, for always being in here and catching what you can. We do appreciate it, man. We do appreciate you guys being here, and everybody else that was in here. We do appreciate that. But guys, we're gonna get off right here. We do appreciate you coming in. Check us out next Thursday. We're gonna have more topics, more off-season stuff, getting closer to that season, man. It's itching. It's getting so close, man, and we can't wait till the season starts, guys, so we can really talk some football and really see how this season ends off. So I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones. We got Darren Braxton right here. We got Darius Riddick. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Peace.